welcome to a new Harry's Garage video, and today's car is the Ferrari Portofino M for Modificado, because the Portofino actually came out in 2017. I've not had one in to test until now, but I was very keen to find out about this slightly confusing Ferrari. Ever since I think the Ferrari California arrived, auto journalists are never quite sure what to make of this model of Ferrari, because suddenly Ferrari in 2008 appeared with a Ferrari California, and it was a rival to cars like the Mercedes SL and perhaps the Bentley Continental GTC. Here was this front engine V8 Ferrari with a folding metal roof. Well, that's not very lightweight. What were they thinking? And if I go back to, there's our Evo cover of July 2008, shock, a new Ferrari. And I had a friend who ordered one new unseen, and when he saw it, he said, "Oh, I'm not touching that. That's going to absolutely bomb." He rather wished he did order it, because once it came out, it proved a bit of a hit with customers, and therefore it's always in demand. Glacial depreciation, especially compared to its rivals like the Bentley and Mercedes SL that shed value. Not so with the California. And now the Portofino's come out and it's doing the same thing. Customers love this car. No matter what auto journalists say about it, it seems to satisfy what customers want in an entry-level Ferrari. So let's go and have a closer look to see where the appeal of this model is. Well, the Portofino introduced this very new look. The Ferrari California was long gone. That was sort of linking back to the past. The California convertible, not so with the Portofino. When that arrived, this had this much sharper look that was 458 and 488 look at the front. Really, I think is a very elegant car. There's lots of carbon fibre on this car, being a press car, so I can see that's carbon fibre. Lord knows what the cost is. If you're wondering about the strange registration, well, it's an Italian car that's come over these press cars. If you come round here, you'll see we're now 20-inch wheels on this. Obviously CCM brakes, which is standard fare on all Ferraris. Side shields on this one, Lord knows what extras, and then carbon trim at the sill. Black roof as well. That was a design statement. It's to hide the bulk of the car, because it's quite big, this car. It's 4.5 meters long. But yeah, so black pillars, etc. So the not body colour. I might put the roof down so we can have a quick look at the interior as well. 20-inch at the rear as well. Let's have a look what size. 285 35 tyres. And then round the back, more carbon fibre. Now, there's been a lot of talk on the Portofino M because it has to gain gas particulate filters, which are nasty things that you have to fit at the front. Well, nasty things for engine sound and exhaust notes, because they're a giant filter to suck out microscopic particles in the exhaust. And it does mean that they don't have a rear box on the silencers now, so they can do more with aero back here. They don't have to do it in carbon fibre. It's just if you tick the box, you get this great big carbon fibre diffuser. Now, because it's a folding metal roof, there's a very big boot, but it's not all usable. You get a space here. This is for the wind deflector in here. Sadly, the days of toolkits on Ferraris sort of going on eBay for 12,000, 13,000 have gone. I don't think you're going to fit that little toolkit you see in there. You can also press this button here, and if you crouch down and come here, I'm going to push those down. You can see right through to the car, because you can fold down the seats for those trips down to B&Q. Now, if you actually put your roof down, you have to lower that, because that's all the boot space you get. But when you've got the roof up, you get a bit more boot space. Handy to know this stuff. The other thing I noticed, it's got soft close as well on there. Right, I'm just going to demonstrate the roof now. So I'm going to put the roof down, and then we'll have a quick look at the engine as well. Right, that's it with the hood down. You can actually it's got a wind deflector on this one. That's dead easy to take out from that side. I'll just put it down here for the moment. So what I wanted to show you is, obviously the Portofino is a 2+2. Well, you don't really want to sit in the back of a Portofino. There you go, they're the seats. They are extremely upright. They are emergency use only, but they're same as a 911 or something like that. But that's a key difference in usability. It does have that advantage of being a 2+2 for bags, etc. Now in the front, there we are. We still get red crackle paint on our Ferrari engine in the Portofino, which is a good thing. So yeah, inlets here, a V8, it's wet sump this one, but set obviously right back in the wheelbase. So all at the front here, all you get is this air intakes for cool air and then power on the engine. So all pretty conventional here. Still has the chassis number on the plate there rather than an engine builder. And you can see the sort of construction here of the Portofino. So yeah, all good. What I'm going to do now, take it outside, take it for a drive. Yeah, all pretty familiar in here. It's quite a warm day, so I'm actually going to start the engine to get the air conditioning going. Yeah, 2 presses. And different, this is where it is different from the Roma, because it hasn't got the haptic controls on the wheel, hurrah, and it's got a Manatino button proper switch here. So I quite like that actually, which we'll come on to in a moment. Right, let's just get this to that. Turn the air conditioning, the fan down a little bit so you can hear me. So yeah, familiar in front of me as well, an analog proper Rev Counter, and then the 2 screens either side, which I can sort of toggle between different screens. Here I've got temperature and I've got tyre pressures, got all sorts on here, or speedo, or whatever you want. Carbon fibre in here, it's a press car, so it's smothered in carbon fibre. Lord knows how much extra it is, but it has actually got, you know, no need to go into the screen for the climate, etc. And these outlets for air conditioning, they're almost class leading in all cars you drive. They deliver a huge volume of air, cooling air, and they're very easy to point at you, and there's 4 of them, and absolutely top class ventilation system on the Ferrari, and obviously it all works really well, the air conditioning, etc. I'm sure this wheel is an extra with the change up lights up there, but I really like the way, even in this entry level Ferrari, I can't call it that at £175,000, but you know what I mean, in a metal folding roof convertible, this is the wheel that you will find in the 488 Pista and other cars like that. It is a very much a Ferrari feeling inside this cabin, as it should be, but don't think it's dumbed down because it's the Portofino. It's not at all. Right, let's strap up. Oh, seats just deserve a mention as well. Electric adjustment on this, not huge amount of grip at the top, but I've been using it for reasonable journeys today, and yeah, there are no backaches, but it's just a feeling of lightweightness about it. Anyway, let's get going, and you'll see me later on some better bits of road. See, indicators on the wheel, very light steering, and away you go. Up to 4/5, quick as you like through the gearbox. This new DSG gearbox is well worth a mention. So this 8-speed gearbox, we saw it in the Roma first, and now it's in this Portofino M. And you think, oh, it's only got an extra speed. It makes a big difference, this gearbox. First of all the ratios up, including 7th, 4% lower geared than before, and 8th is a higher gear, so it's better for cruising and CO2ness and all good things like that, MPG. But it has a much greater torque capacity, and Ferrari have always had this, it started the 488 with this turbocharged V8. They limit the torque in the lower gears and they manage the boost, and they do it brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly, and you get basically more torque the higher gear you're in and the higher speed you're doing. This gearbox allows a lot more torque to be delivered at lower in the lower gears, so it does make a difference to how this car accelerates, and this is a proper quick car. There's a queue round Burford, so I'm going to nip round the back. Proper quick car. I was looking at some of the tests. The Portofino has already been tested on acceleration 0 to 100 miles an hour in 6.8 seconds. This car is only going to be quicker because it's got the 20 extra horsepower and it's got this new gearbox. Crazy speed. It's 9 point something to 200 kilometers an hour, this car. Ferrari states, so 3.3 to 100. So again, it's this confused messaging when you think, oh, it's just that soft convertible Ferrari. No way. This is a proper Ferrari. Still got to, slightly confusing still, even though I know the indicator is on the wheel and there's a paddle behind there to change gear as well. You just get your brain into Ferrari mode if you've stepped out of something else. Other things I've noticed living with this Portofino, very easy to control. It's touch screen, so I can go to nav if I want, like that. If I go back to home, or I can control it on here and just press it. I want set it as nav, media, radio. It's all on there. So you've got the choice of touch screen or on a controller wheel, if you like, and a home button to take you straight back to everything. And then, as I say, on screen, I've got the central rev counter, and then I can play around. There's a tiny little switch on the back of the wheel that no one knows is there, and if you press that, I can then choose between speedo, what I've got on the radio, navigation, or my phone. Weirdly, I think it works very well. Got strange cruise control, and it's got radar cruise on this car, so all mod cons. Well, I suppose you ought to expect the mod cons at the price of this car. Yeah, it doesn't seem to stop start. It's probably because I've got the air conditioning on, but it's just at this speed there's a slightly uncouth sort of resonance there. I don't know if you can hear it. It's just not quite Ferrari-esque, the sound it makes, and that's all thanks to the turbocharger and then not having any rear sort of silencer boxes. Right, there's no valving on that I can see on the exhaust. It's all sort of in the Maratino switch, I suppose, and I can be in comfort mode if I want it. We're down to comfort. Yeah, it's just shut the exhaust ever so slightly. Has it? I can't decide. Anyway, sport or race. And a race actually has that side slip control, which again Ferrari masters that on how the ESC you can feel a little bit of a hero behind the wheel of a Ferrari, because it just has enough side slip just to let it go out, catch it, and you will spin off if you push it too far, but takes you to the outer edge of the limits of the adhesion of the tyres, and it's easily the best system I know that a road car. Now we're coming up to my little squirt up the hill, which can't last too long in this car for obvious reasons, but I'm putting it into race. There we are. We've got orange on the dash. I'm doing 32 miles an hour. I'm in auto. I'm in 7th, doing 30 miles an hour. Here we go. Oh, it takes a while to wake up. Now that's interesting. I only went down to 4th. That is interesting. I would have thought it would kick down more than that. It kicks down. There's no traffic behind. I'm just going to slow up again. That is, it's interesting, because I've been cruising through Burford. It sort of confused the gearbox. Always on a cruise. Let's see if I actually hit it harder. Yeah, that's gone down to 2nd. Well, there we are. Yes. Interesting, it didn't really launch out of there. It needed a little wake-up call. Sometimes the ECUs are too clever for their own good. I should also mention how quiet this car is compared to other rivals. Again, I did my usual thing, measuring it on my noisy bit of road at 60 miles an hour, and it was 76 decibels or thereabouts. On the motorway speeds, and I was at 74 decibels on normal tarmac. So yeah, it's a very usable car. I know I say that relatively often, but when you look at the amount of performance, it's a 620 horsepower car, 6.8 to 100. Yes, it feels more nimble and more athletic than a Bentley GTC, but it slurs its gear changes, and yeah, it's very livable. One thing to note, if you're used to a normal automatic, this doesn't actually have a sort of creep function in traffic. You're stationary in traffic. Right, let's go down my favourite bit of road. I'm going to do that. I'm going to press the bumpy button and turn right into here. Again, carbon brakes, lovely solid pedal, easy to modulate, and off we go. Oh. Yeah, it's got serious performance, and I can't really show you on camera, but you can probably imagine that how well 620 horsepower can move 1664 kilos. Out of sport. Yeah, I'll put it into race. Yeah, that's firmed up. Adaptive dampers are one of the best inventions ever, I think. Really good. Ferrari have been on it for some time. Yeah, that is perfectly livable in sport and in comfort. Really very good. I expected it to tramline a bit more. This is where the F8 Tributo was all over the place. Maybe it was those Michelin Cup 2s that were doing it, but this feels absolutely dead arrow straight down here. Yeah, nice. I mean, there is a little bit of feel that I can just feel the bumps and the crests and stuff coming through the wheel. Yeah, it's just that feeling of Ferrari. You can hear the revs. I'm only doing 4,000. I'm getting very tight control over that compression. Quick turning. You have to get used to the speed of turning on a Ferrari. It is very precise, not a lot of movement needed at the wheel. Around there that feels fantastic around there. Well, I have to tell myself it's a convertible. If we go on to the likes and dislikes, it's hardly a dislike, but I think it's slightly compromised by being a metal hardtop. There's positives and negatives. It does feel very coupe-esque as a metal folding roof with it folded as I've got it now. I'm going to put it down in a moment. But the Roma does that job, so it almost doesn't need a metal hardtop. And we've seen how Mercedes have shed weight with the SL, or the SLS and their GT by going soft top, right, and abandoning the hard top convertible. And I would have thought this Portofino would shed even more weight. 1664 kilos this car. Just for reference, a Bentley Conti GTC, same price, is nearly 800 kilos heavier. It's 2,440, I think it is. DB11 V8, probably another 150, 200 kilos on top of this car. So this is pretty light, and he's already competing with those Mercedes SLs, even though it's got a metal folding roof. So I'd like it not to have a metal folding roof. Another disappointment, it just isn't that Ferrari voice. If you're used to Ferraris of old, you're missing that sympathy that used to come from the engine when you were in it. There is a keenness and reviness to this car, but it's not like Ferraris of old, but they've done a good job with what they've had to deal with the turbocharged, the gas particulates, etc. But I just don't like that sort of tick over sound when you're outside somebody else. It just doesn't sound like you want your Ferrari to hear, to listen. And then I suppose almost don't know another car with a breadth of ability where it's sort of cruising like this and then it goes ballistic at the other end. It is almost too quick for its own good. Does it really need 620 horsepower? I suppose it's sort of easy to achieve with turbocharged these days. But my goodness, people would be absolutely shocked in this car if they actually give it proper gun. Yeah, as you saw there, it just is electric performance that I think will shock a lot of customers. Right, I'm going to just pull over here. I'm going to put the roof down and then we go through the likes. You can do up to, I think it's 25 miles an hour. It's quite a complicated movement it has to do. You can see it's lifted the back up a bit like SLKs and things Mercedes SL used to do. There goes the roof there. We are, come on, roof opening, and it's all closed. Now, likes. Well, design. I think this is a dramatic improvement on the Ferrari California that went before it, and the M just adds a little bit more aggression to it, I suppose. Very close, but Portofino looks modern Ferrari. I think the only downside is the Roma has appeared and we all know how good looking that is, and this poor car has to compete with it. But it does have an opening top. What else? Yeah, price. I mean, I do struggle each time I say this is the entry-level Ferrari, but it is, and all Ferraris are getting expensive. Think of that 296 just been launched, the V6 hybrid. God, 230 something thousand starting price. F8 Tributo is 208 for any extras, and we all know how they go up. And the V12 range, well, you're into 300,000 really with those. I'm just going to put it back now. Some favourite corners just coming up here. So into third, come down here, hit the brakes, brilliant power, great to modulate, CCM brakes. Around here, just going to bring to race. Oh. I mean, serious performance. I mean, once you're in the 6s to 100, you're a McLaren F1 old style, I mean, proper crazy fast, and yet it was very good at low speeds. And that's another like of mine, is its livability, its ease of use, the way I can find my way around the touch screen and all the other elements in here, the brilliant ventilation, all stuff that Ferraris used to be pretty hopeless at this sort of stuff, but now the latest generation are fantastic, really fantastic. Yeah, another like, obviously it's handling, that lightweight feel. Yeah, I know 1660 isn't that light, but it feels plenty light enough on its toes, and the way the quick steering is there. Against its rivals, there is a real feeling of energy to it, athleticism. It's really nice to live with, and the handling feels terrific, completely uncompromised by the roof from what I can see here. I would have thought it might even help, because it must put rear bias on weight when you got the roof folded. And then as an owner, to have that reassurance of 4-year warranty and 7-year maintenance package all included in that list price when you buy a new Ferrari in the UK, massive appeal. I can promise you that. You know, just think, I have it serviced every year, there's no issues, and it's all bought and paid for. All I have to do is put tyres and fuel in it for the next 7 years. Very clever marketing by Ferrari, that one. So yeah, all in all, concluding it, you know, the big surprise of this car is I prefer it to the Roma. I just think it offers more. You get past the looks of the Roma, you get inside that interior, that funny iPad in the middle of the screen, and the haptic controls, the slightly uncouth sound it makes, without the option of the roof opening as well. I just think this car has got it all. I can see exactly why Ferrari customers have come back and repeat business. I can see exactly why it has such good residuals. It ticks a lot of boxes for a lot of people. I can almost see myself taking this on a track day. It's got CCM brakes, it's got lively engine. It's one of those lovely cars that you get in that is better than you expect it to be. The only thing against it, possibly, is it's not quite as good looking as the Roma, and are probably slightly compromised on the design because it's got a metal folding roof, but on the plus side it just makes it that much livable. So I have enjoyed my time with this Portofino M more than I expected. I can recommend it, highly recommend it. Just go easy on the options. Don't be mugged into covering your car in carbon fibre. It's just too much money. Just get a lower spec car and then use all the money you save on using it and taking it on trips and just taking advantage of that 7-year warranty to just enjoy a wonderful Ferrari that is a bit of a surprise. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please keep watching, keep subscribing. More videos coming along very soon.